guerrilla tactics, deep local support for the Ambazonian cause, and the inability of the centralized government in La République du Cameroon to adapt to unconventional warfare have led to a prolonged and bloody stalemate. The financial toll of the Ambazonian war has been immense. Reports suggest that the cost of sustaining military operations, rebuilding destroyed infrastructure, and dealing with international scrutiny has drained state coffers. The military, overstretched and demoralized, has faced significant casualties such as the one we saw. If this same force were to face a second front in the north, the consequences could be devastating. Cameroon survivor, that is, excluding Ambazonia, as a unified entity hangs in the balance. The warnings from the far north are not to be dismissed lightly. If the region's calls for political inclusion and economic development continue to go unanswered, it may soon follow the path of Ambazonia, where decades of marginalization, that is annexation, before it erupted into full-scale war. The question is not just whether Cameroon can sustain a two-front war, but whether its political system is capable of addressing the root causes of these conflicts. The regime's approach has consistently been reactive, relying on force to suppress dissent rather than addressing the grievances that drive it. This strategy has already failed in Ambazonia. Will Yaoundé make the same mistake in the north? Cameroon's leadership has long lived in denial, refusing to acknowledge the depth of the crisis it faces. From the Ambazonian struggle to the burgeoning discontent in the north, the regime's inability to adapt to changing realities is a recurring theme. By dismissing the Marawa arms cache as the work of traffickers, La République du Cameroon's government has once again chosen to ignore the warning signs of an impending crisis. But denial is not a strategy. If Cameroon does not take immediate steps to address the grievances of its northern population, investing in development, honoring the region's contribution to the nation, and ensuring political representation, it may soon find itself battling an insurgency, another war, this time on two fronts. Cameroon's future depends on its willingness to confront the systemic issues that have fueled decades of unrest. This requires a government willing to listen, to invest in its marginalized regions, and to acknowledge that force alone cannot hold a nation together. Force alone cannot, will not hold Cameroon together. For over 8 years, the regime in Yaoundé has clung to the narrative of a crisis in the southern Cameroons, dismissing the full-blown war that they themselves declared. But the question remains, do crises rack up the kind of staggering casualties that Cameroon's military has endured in Ambazonia?